Hi, my name's Keith Cooper in Northlight Images, and in this video I'm going to look at and make some suggestions for the first papers to get when you get a new printer such as this one, the Epson P700 or the larger P900. This one is A3+, 13" by 19", so 13" width. P900 is 17" width, so we'll do A2. It's just a larger printer, but from a print quality point of view, it's pretty much identical to the 700, so just bigger. So I get a lot of people ask, I've got the printer, will paper such and such be any good with it? Or should I really use Epson papers to get the best results from an Epson printer? Well, first up, Epson papers are not better in any way. They're good quality papers, there are lots of them. I happen to know, because my knowledge of the paper industry, where some of those papers come from. And they were not made by companies with Epson over the door. So, you know, as such, Epson printers themselves, Epson papers, sorry, are not inherently better. However, I always suggest that if you get a new printer, the first prints you make, you get some basic paper. Now, the one I've got here, this is one as a test image. This is Epson Premium Luster, A4 size. You don't need to get large sheets of it, but what I would say is that through a combination of printing some known test images and using Epson paper, so you've got Epson ICC profiles are available to use with it, they're installed when you install the print driver. You're testing the printer with paper that it was designed with. Now, once again, that's not necessarily the best option, but it's the most consistent option. What I would say is that it's also the best option for finding out if your printing skills are any good, because here's the bit that doesn't make it through to the marketing materials. The biggest problem with print quality is not the printer, it's not the paper, it's not the inks, it is the ability of the person doing the printing, and that goes all the way back down the chain if you're printing photographs to your ability as a photographer. So it's almost always a duff print is your fault. However, that counts for me as well. However, I want to know why it's my fault. I want to rule out simple mistakes. The easiest way to rule out making lots of simple and wasteful mistakes to start with is to start off with just one or two paper types, some Epson papers, print a few test images. I've got these images are available for download on the Northlight Images site, and there's a video about using test images. Lots of stuff about this. But for this printer, when I was testing it, the very first paper I tested it with was the Epson Premium Luster, because it's consistent, I know it's a reasonable paper, and if something comes out wrong, it's not the paper, it's something I've set up incorrectly. And that's the real reason I say start off with papers like that. You might also want, if you're interested, it depends very much on the style of images you want to print, you might want to include an art paper of some sort. Now these tend to be more expensive, so once again you may want to start off practicing on something like luster paper here. I'd advise against a high gloss paper, since it only tends to be small pictures and certain types of image that work well on really high gloss papers. Go for the luster, certainly if we're making larger prints. But here's a paper, this is an Epson fine art paper. This is the cold press, hot press natural. So hot press means it's a smooth finish. Natural means it's got no optical brighteners in it, so it's a slightly warmer colour than this, which is printed on a luster paper. You may be able to see in the video there is a slight difference in the paper warmth. This will have a more bluish tinge than this one. Obviously it looks different to eye than it does in video, so if you see prints here in the video, don't assume that they've got particular colour cast or anything, or likewise on the screen. It's all the vagaries of shooting video and having to match colours, and I'm not in a setup in a proper video studio where you'd have control over everything like that. So I've got daylight coming in, for example. But basic papers, as I say, a luster paper, an art paper. You can then find out, and I've got a video on what sorts of images suit different papers, that some images look much better on a paper like this, and other images you feel look much better on images on papers like this. Tends to be, for colour, it tends to be more muted colours, less intense colours look good on the art papers. But it's a matter of your taste, and you're going to have to accept your judgment. If you're looking for someone to tell you exactly what you should do, I'm sure there are people, but you won't get it from me. I'll point you in the direction, and then you make your own decisions. So that's it. So we got those, but now this one, black and white. If you're interested in black and white, once again, start off using some test images. Use the ABW mode, the advanced black and white mode. I've got loads of stuff about this. It's in the printer driver. Start again with Epson papers, then move on to something else. See how you think how you feel with it. I would say when you're in the print settings, don't feel compelled by reading marketing materials to assume that the highest quality driver settings for print quality are automatically the best. I've found that the highest quality settings rarely make much of a difference, and certainly not a difference that anyone is going to notice picking up a print. Maybe a difference if I got a hand lens out or something and looked at detail at this distance. But who looks at prints at that distance? It's about what the print looks like. So that's it. Let's think you've done that a bit, you want to move away. What other papers to look? Well, there are lots of suppliers. Now, I only test papers that are available here in the UK. People ask me about other papers, so they say, have I tried Red River such and such or something? No, because I've never ever seen it. It's not here in the UK. Send me a pack and I'll happily look at it, but it's not widely available in the UK. But remember that bit I said about the companies who make Epson paper not having Epson over the door of the factory? Well, lots of people buy paper and have their names put on the boxes. So don't automatically assume that a famous brand paper is going to be better in some way. You'll probably find a very similar paper, who knows, maybe even the same paper, available from a smaller supplier. And certainly here in the UK, some of the suppliers they'll sell you the famous brand papers, but they'll also sell you their own brand papers, which are absolutely fine. And quite often, they will make custom profiles for you. ICC profiles, I've covered this elsewhere, why you would use ICC profiles and the benefits of them. But profiles, I make custom profiles, and so custom profiles I've made for this printer are available. But if you buy paper from some suppliers, you print a test target, send it off to them, and they will make a profile for you. And they are absolutely fine papers. So I've tested papers from Paper Spectrum, Permajet, Photospeed, Innova. Now I've used Innova papers for years with large format printers, particularly some art papers and things. I've used them for many years and I've never had a problem with them. All the different suppliers, see what they say, have a chat with them. They're mostly very friendly people. Here's an example, another one. This is from a local supplier, Paper Spectrum, in the same city, Leicester, that I live. And there are two papers here. They're pre-cut, or pre-creased I should say, for greetings cards. Now I get a lot of people ask me about doing greetings cards, and the P700, 900 here, handles paper like this, and it's quite thick media, handles it an absolute treat. What I would say is that if you're going to get into printing cards, the biggest limitation, it's not the printer, it's not the inks, it's the quality of card you use. Now, if you get ordinary basic cardstock, and I've covered this, several other printers I've looked at greeting card printing, and I cover issues about card choice, you will find that if you get just a basic cardstock and run it through a printer like this, the results will look pretty meh, because it is not card designed for aqueous or water-based inkjets. And that covers this, covers the Canon printers I've looked at as well. Basically, unless you get a proper card that's intended for inkjet use, your results are going to be somewhat problematic with it. So take care of that. Have a look at some of the other videos I've done for other printers as well. So if you're interested in cards, look at stuff I've done about cards for other printers. It's all relevant, and I try not to duplicate too much stuff in the videos. So have a look around, see what you can find for it. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm happy to answer questions in the comments for the video. Drop me a line at Northlight Images if you need the profiles for this. The profiles I've got are listed in the written review for the printer. So have a look at that. That's on the Northlight Images site, much more detailed than the video, and it has a list of the profiles that I've made, and they're available for non-commercial use. But hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of how to get started. Keep it simple, and don't rush into it. And one other important thing, you buy the printer first, then you choose your paper. You do not choose your favourite paper and then go and get a printer, because there is no guarantee the two are going to work well together. So thank you very much, and bye.